So today I'm going to be talking about my fish kelp super tea. There's a picture of day 1, here's a video of day 2. You can see the bubbles are starting to form, meaning that fermentation is starting to begin. I'm going to try to keep this really simple because I remember when I was starting, people were getting too detailed and it was throwing me off. So this is a really easy way for anybody who's getting into gardening or who's an expert gardener to make something that's really beneficial for your plants. So here's day 3. You can see fermentation is peaking. It's starting to form like a little crust, kind of like beer. And now it's time to pour it into my plants, but now I'm going to show you guys how to make it. So now I'm going to show you what products I used and how I made it. Here's some kelp meal that I used. It's from a company named Down to Earth. They have organic ingredients and I like the results that I get from their products. You can get their ingredients at almost any hydroponic or gardening store. And here's some of the biofish that I threw in there. I'll get to the ratios in a second, but you can play around with them as much as you'd like. You'll also need an air stone with an air pump. I got that at a hydroponic store. Got this 5-gallon bucket from my local shop for about, $5. And I got this 5-gallon water container for a couple bucks at the thrift store. Make sure you get reverse osmosis water, which is filtered water. So now here are the measurements that I used. I used 2 cups of kelp meal and 1 cup of fish meal, and I measured out about 4 cups of sugar. You can do more or less, whatever you want. Play around with it. It's not a sure thing. Some people will get different results than I do. But make sure that you dissolve your sugar because it'll make it more accessible to the beneficial bacteria, yeast, and microorganisms. So a lot of the sugar will immediately dissolve with this hot water. If it doesn't, stir it and repeat, which I'll do later and I'll show you. I love this super tea. You guys are going to love it too. So I'm going to move everything aside and I'm going to add everything to my 5-gallon bucket. The reason I started making is because I consider the soil to be sort of like your gut. If you eat a lot of yogurt or kefir or kombucha or any of those other things, you'll make your body less susceptible to disease, and I think that this is the same or similar result for plants. So I'm pretty much making a probiotic for the soil. So just continue to pour the sugar in after it dissolves, the sugar water I should say, and stir and add more water as needed. As you can see here, the water is getting more clear, but there are still grains of sugar. Make sure you get them all dissolved. I kept going until all the water is clear and all the grains are gone. Now you just want to add the remaining ingredients and stir it up so that way there are no clumps. I forgot to mention that other kelp and fish fertilizers reek. They smell so bad when they're fermenting, but this has almost no smell at all. So that's why I like using the fish meal and the kelp meal, because there's no smell, there's no nasty odors that'll fill your house up, no complaining from the neighbors. It's just perfect for anybody who's in a tight space or who doesn't want to deal with the smell. Now you're just going to add the rest of the RO water, the reverse osmosis water. Make sure it's filtered. You don't want to kill the beneficial microorganisms in this. And that's pretty much it. Again, you can play with any of those ratios, add more sugar, add less sugar, add more of the kelp meal, fish meal, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that you're using reverse osmosis water and that you're dissolving the sugar in hot water. Those are 2 essential steps. But if you found this video beneficial, hope you learned something, and if you guys have any recommendations for me or any suggestions for me, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, any of those things. Thanks for watching. Bye.
And this next one is called Odors.